Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Saturday, October 22nd, and this is going to be our last weekly live stream. We've been doing Saturday live streams for probably a year and a half, might even be 2 years now. But something we're doing on this channel is I'm no longer going to be creating original content 7 days a week. We're going to take Fridays and Saturdays off. We're gonna go out and enjoy life. We've already got some trips planned, so we are gonna go have some fun. We will, of course, release a couple of videos on Friday and Saturday, so we just keep the momentum going. But yes, no original content, which means no daily financial news on Fridays and Saturdays, and no live streams. I will be reworking my schedule Sunday through Thursday. We will find times to do live streams again. Haven't quite worked out all the details as I have a lot of shuffling to go through. So more and more data coming up on that. But yes, Fridays and Saturdays after today, won't see me doing these. We're doing this one because I have my students at 9 o'clock, and I would not skip that. It's already scheduled. Zoom details are out there, so we will be going through with that at 9 o'clock. So, folks, if you want to say hi, you want to say anything about the channel or whatnot, you can leave your comments. I will riff for about 10 minutes, and then we will go through the comments top to bottom. If you do want to jump to the front of the line, we have the super chats. And I heard there's something called super stickers. Matt told me that. I have no idea what a super sticker is, but cool, I guess. Again, it's the only time I talk about this, so YouTube can get their cut and maybe show the channel to more folks. So what I want to talk about here is an article from a economist who looked at the housing market, and they wrote an article that's getting a lot of attention. And it is talking about their call for a 20% national housing crash next year. There's a couple of things in this article that has to get my attention, right? First, national. It's kind of what you and I have been talking about for 6 or 9 months. National median home price. This individual is talking about the same thing that you and I talk about. Gets my attention. 2, they're putting a number on it. I love that. I love when people make calls and they put a number so it's not squishy. They're calling for a 20% national housing crash next year. Now, in fairness, I think they called it correction. I would argue that 20% is a crash. We don't need to split hairs on that. They put a number, 20%. Got my attention. So now, as I look at it and I read through this, look at Lumberjack. I appreciate you too. One thing that's really cool about Dion, Matt, Millennial Mike, and others is they heard that I was taking Fridays and Saturdays off, and these 3 guys are already talking about how do we fill the void. So my hope is the Lumberjack moves his Sunday live streams to Saturday. My hope is Dion picks up, I don't know, maybe Fridays, and we just keep this thing rolling. Oh, look at that. That's a super sticker, I guess. AZ Joe. I guess that's a super sticker. I had no idea. That's pretty cool. Again, back to the 20% call, because again, we have to, as an economist to an economist, I want to peel back the onion. I want to see what they see. I want to question myself, right? What do I have wrong? Maybe they're seeing something that I am not seeing. So let's have this conversation. So I guess there's a couple of things. First and foremost, this economist talking about the housing market is using kind of Econ 101 and 201 ideas. What does that mean? Right, when you get into economics, you learn about supply demand curves, you learn about price elasticity, you learn about all of these things. I believe what's going on. Oh, look at Kip sending me a good job. You guys are awesome. I did not know I had stickers, but now I do. That's pretty cool. So they're basically treating housing like a TV, right? I remember in college, we always talked about TVs. In my master's program, we changed it up and talked about computers, but the same idea holds. what this economist has done in their 20% housing crash call is they basically made housing a TV or a computer. Why is that important? It's very important because it doesn't appreciate that housing has necessity, right? It has a necessity. It is the third level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Water first, food second, shelter third. Now, you do have switching costs and you do have other things, but there is a requirement there, is sticky. Plus, again, unlike TVs and computers, which are lower price points, a lot of people pay cash or with credit cards, obviously. Housing is really a lending-based business. Next, you don't have to sell, right? If prices goes down, there's not this cascading forced effect. So there's a lot of things inside her demand curve that I think are wrong or misassumptions. They're intellectually right, but they don't appreciate housing as a unique thing. I think the largest error or misjudgment in the demand curve kind of argument of this article is, I think what they've done incorrectly is they've assumed we will do the same number of transactions in 2023 as we did in 2021. Why is that important? That is not only important, that is the anchor of their thesis, in my opinion. And frankly, as I think I said on the Daily Financial News, if you could tell me right now with a straight face that you believed in 2023 we would do the same number of transactions we did in 2021, which roughly speaking was 6.9 million. If you could tell me that with a straight face and you had some proof of that, I would probably have to relent and say, you know what? Same transactions, interest rates are up at 8%, price has to go down. I would agree. And I would argue that, you know what, pricing falling 20% given rates are up 400 basis points probably makes sense. But that's where the error in logic occurs. That is where this argument of a 20% crash collapses in 2023. We simply will not do anything close to 6.9 million transactions. We just won't. I would be shocked if we did 3.9 million transactions in 2023. Think about that. Why is that important? Well, when you take the demand curve down from 6.9 to 3.9, the price crash you're talking about doesn't have to occur. There are always people that need to buy. There are people that buy with cash. There are foreign buyers. There's private equity. There's this, there's that. It doesn't take a lot of transactions to chew up 3.9 million. For example, let's do easy math. Let's assume we did 7 million transactions in 2021, just because it's easier for me to do it in my head. Let's assume we did 20% cash. Cash, private equity, foreign buyers, all these people that are not going anywhere, or at least not going anywhere in a big number. So 7 million times 20% equals 1.4. Well, if we're only going to do 3.9 million transactions, or shoot, let's call it 4 million transactions, and now we have 1.4 that show up regardless, that's like 35% of the market. They're not rate sensitive. So this article talking about 20% crash when you have 8% rate, it doesn't apply to 35% of the market. They're not rate sensitive. So I thought it was a very interesting article. This economist was quoted in many different articles, but really where I think they fall down is they didn't acknowledge that we're not doing 6.9, we're going to do 3.9. And the argument falls apart. Other things that are obvious to me, because you and I have looked at the 52-year spreadsheet a dozen times, if not more. The largest collapse in housing in any single year was 9%, 2009. to stand here and tell me that you think 2023 is going to be 2.1% or 2.1x worse than 09 is insulting, having lived through 09. 09 had 10% unemployment or 9.8. Today we have 3.5. Could it go up? Sure. Is it going to go to 4.5? Maybe. Is it going to go to 5? Maybe. Is it going to go 5.5? Maybe. Is it going to go to 9? No. Second, have we not come to appreciate that banks have learned how awesome forbearance is? Banks went under because they chose to foreclose last time. We had 4.2 million, I think, at the peak forbearance in this craziness. Now we're at 345,000. Worked out really well for the banks. Then, of course, there's the people that don't believe any of that. And they just say unemployment's going to go up, so foreclosures are going to go up. Well, okay, genius. Go back and look at history. Let's just say unemployment goes to 15%. There are no freaking jobs out there. Zero. Banks decide not to do forbearance. Paint the most ugly picture you want. You can't get past the fact that if we have waves of foreclosures, they will take 6, 7, 8, 900 days to process. If you think foreclosures are going to suddenly spike to 2009 at 2.2 million in a single year when we don't even have notice of defaults yet, you don't understand. You're naive. So at the end of the day, I think it was a very interesting intellectual exercise to think about a 20% crash. Where I really fall down is 20% crash in 2023. If you wanted to take that article and say, we might see a 20% crash over 2, 3, 4 years, that's actually harder for me to argue because that's possible. We have constantly rising unemployment. Banks start to act different. Maybe one bank forecloses, one does forbearance. They just act different. We have 10, 11, 12% interest rates. I mean, I could paint a very scary picture where we have a 20% crash over a long duration, meaning 2, 3, 4 years. Last time it was 5 years. I could do that. I think that's a reasonable argument. I don't believe it, but it is absolutely possible. Where I think this article failed is timing. A 20% crash in 2023 means we have to have a lot of forced sellers, and that's just not how the system works. A notice of default is at 90 days out, then there's 6 months of this and 9 months of that, and it just doesn't work that way. So, yeah, that was what I thought about that. I mean, some of you have asked for my thoughts on that, so I wanted to record that to open up. All right, let's go to the top. Say hi to everybody. Answer any questions we have. Tamika, good morning. How are you? Jeff, you want a special thing from Sonny? Sure. Hi, Sonny. Come here, buddy. Jeff wants to see you. There's Sonny. He's awesome. He was sleeping. Say hi. No, don't want to say hi. Go back to sleep. There you go, Jeff. You're welcome. Zachary, yep. Take Saturday and Sunday instead. Can't do it. Won't do it. I thought about it. The reason I won't take Sunday is actually because there's a guy I interviewed, Dan Bird, who talks about the stock market. And I want to do that interview before the market opens. So that's why I chose to start my weeks on Sunday, Yeah. So thank you. Plus, I don't want to be off when everybody else is off. That's no fun. Yeah. Hey, Kip, how are you? Thanks for everything, buddy. I appreciate it. Yep. Work life. Yeah, that's Ginger. Thank you. I've never considered this work. What made me step back and really think about this is really a very thoughtful comment from Dion. I jumped into one of his live streams, I don't know, about 6 weeks ago. And Dion said something like, hey, basically retirement life is great. I don't want to have a schedule like one of my buddies where he does stuff every day. Now, he didn't say my name specifically, and it was very respectful and very heartfelt. But he was like, the dude's doing it wrong. And I'm like, so I thought about that because, again, it was heartfelt. It wasn't mean. Talked to Olivia, who's my better and smarter half, and she's like, Dion's right, you idiot. What are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I think Dion's right. So, yeah, we're going to do some fun. We've already got a trip planned to Santa Barbara. I don't know, next week or the week after or something. So, yeah, it's I love what I do. I love building a legacy. I love helping people. We're now helping thousands and thousands of people. That the course, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time, is helping thousands of people. But I don't have to do it every day. And it's probably going to make me be more creative, I hope. My commitment to creating a legacy that lives 50 years after I'm dead hasn't changed. I just don't need to do it 7 days a week. I have, one of my strengths is also one of my weaknesses. I have the ability to focus like very few and work, hence 1,000 days in a row, not missing Christmas, birthdays, travel, nothing. But it also is a downfall, right? So I think it's going to help me. I don't know. It's going to help me. I think, again, Dion gets all the credit for pointing out my errors of my way. Olivia, of course, very supportive. And yeah, I think it's a net positive for sure. Thank you, Ginger. Zachary, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Good morning, ORAT family. Yep, developing a solution has legs for the future. Enjoy. Thanks. Awesome. I appreciate it. Alyssa, yep, we're gonna miss the Saturdays, but good news is we have Sunday through Thursday together. I'll find a way to do live streams. I don't know if they'll be sporadic or scheduled. I have stuff to figure out. But yeah. Jeff, how do you think social media will play a role in this next bust cycle? Will it create massive accelerations of the crash? Instant gratification culture. 2008 was probably slower with absence of social media. It's a good question. So social media is without a question an accelerant. I think that's a fair statement. But I think the accelerant of social media is not equal. What do I mean by that? So I've been helping people since like 2007, 2008, right? Since the Bigger Pockets event in Denver, the first one. So I've been helping people since then. And when you help tens of thousands of people over years, you start to develop at least an indicator of who will and who won't take action. Because again, right, that hat, that shirt, that pullovers I have called Do the Work, that's I don't have these things for no reason, right? I believe in them. And what I've come to realize is I believe social media as an accelerant will help the people that aren't going to do anything do nothing faster. I think there's a lot of people out there that are looking for excuses and they would never do anything anyway. They're just going to have more excuses to do nothing. So I think social media is going to keep people poor. It's going to help people miss opportunities. I saw this up close and personal in 2010, where houses were being sold for less than land value, and everybody was saying, "What are you doing? You're an idiot." I'm like, "You're a freaking moron. What are you talking about?" So I believe social media, because I think a lot of people are fixated on crash channels and negativity. And what you don't realize is these channels are not going to ring a bell. They're just going to keep feeding you what you want, and they're going to keep you doing nothing. So I think social media is going to keep more and more people poor. it's going to give them all the excuses they want to not do the work. Why would I do the work? Why would I look at my market every day? Why would I have a buy box? It's all going to crash. I'll buy later and buy later and buy later, and buy later becomes buy never. So yeah, I think social media is going to do that. I do think there's a cohort, which I hope One Rental at a Time attracts, that understand doing the work is important. I mean that I don't know, what was that? 2 weeks ago, I came up with the idea. Hi, Sonny. Wanted to come up and say hi again. Came up with the idea called the Tree of Fear in the Forest of Opportunity. Hi, yeah. I think that's real. I think social media is going to pull some of you closer to the Tree of Fear. And if you get pulled closer to the Tree of Fear by social media, you're going to get what you get. However, if you listen to people like One Rental at a Time, the Lumberjack, Dion, and others, you're going to realize that the forest of opportunity is bigger than you've ever imagined. I think it is up to you, the listener. Some of you are still watching these crash channels. That's not helpful. That's just not helpful. They are going to pull you closer to the Tree of Fear. And if you don't realize you're being pulled closer to the Tree of Fear, that's on you. That's 100% on you. So, social media, I think it's going to do an excellent job of feeding you what you want. That's what I think. I think there are very few balanced creators out there who acknowledge fear, who acknowledge bad news, who will tell you that 2023 is going to be the worst economic year of their adult life, and it will be amazing opportunities. The reason my channel is dwarfed by all of these crash channels is because I preach, do the work, understand what's going on. Doing the work is not sexy. It is far easier to say, you know what, dude, I think we got a 40% housing crash coming by January 15th. Get out, do nothing, buy later. Give you permission to do nothing. So yeah, social media is going to feed you what you want. And yeah, so some of you are being pulled towards the Tree of Fear. I'm trying to cut that rope, but a lot of you are just getting pulled closer and closer and closer. So that's what I think about social media. Yep, Fridays and Saturdays. I'll miss it too, I'm sure. I'm already kind of like, what the hell am I going to do Friday morning? I might go for a long run. I think that's actually what I have to do Friday morning is go for a run just to break up the like, why am I not doing this? It's been, 3 years since we did it. It's going to be, Friday will probably be a hard day for me. October 28th will be the first day I haven't done something in over 3 years. That will be hard, I think. Maybe it'll be easy. I don't know. I think it's going to be hard. How do you feel about physical gold and silver investing? I think it's interesting to have. I have some, very little net worth wise, but I have some. I had a lot more last cycle. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's okay. I'm not a Peter Schiff fan where it's the right answer all the time. I think it's interesting. I think as a just individual, I think having small denominations, bullion coins, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I have a little. I don't know. 1,000 ounces, maybe. Oh, maybe not 1,000. I don't know, 500. I don't know. I actually haven't counted. I just bought some. I bought 100 ounces. When did I do that? I don't know, about 6 weeks ago. Yeah, of silver. I guess I should clarify, not gold, silver. I don't think I have any gold. I might have 1 ounce of gold that I've had forever, but I don't have any. I have silver. It's just easier, smaller denominations. Ben, thank you very much. I appreciate it. One final Saturday. Absolutely. Yep. Is this the worst time you have ever experienced for purchasing properties in 22 years that you've been doing this? Please elaborate. Thank you. I don't. It depends what you mean by worst. Is it the least affordable? Yes. It is the worst time for first-time homebuyers. Yes. I don't think this is the worst time for investors. I mean, if you watch my channel, I just uploaded a video. What was that? 3 days ago. I locked up a deal. I haven't done a deal in a while. It is going to be remarkably easier to find motivated sellers now than it was last year. I would probably say the worst year to buy for me was 06, because I couldn't buy. So then but it turned out to be a blessing because we 1031 into apartments. So that wasn't really that bad because you had other alternatives. I actually think the worst year was 2021. I only did one deal, I think. I think I might have done one in January. So I only may have done 2 deals last year, like 2 ads. I did a duplex and something else, like a house. Was that a triplex? I don't remember. Something. I think 2021 was the worst year. 2020 was no picnic either. No, I think 2022. Actually, so I guess I should be clear. The first half of 2022 was hard. If you want to talk January to June, yeah, that's fair. January to June, that 6-month window was the worst. That was the worst. January to June was the worst. No question. Got nothing done, couldn't sniff anything. That was the worst. Yes, January to June was the worst of 2022. I actually think October to December 2022 won't be that bad. I'm already starting to sniff at deals. I'm starting to get counters back. I think it's going to be fun. So Q1, Q2, 2022, worst. Q4, 2022, not that bad. Not that bad. So that property, so we did a walkthrough of a property we locked up. The backstory of that is it was on the market for 2 weeks. It looks ugly from the street because it has these shake roofs. But inside, it's really clean. You guys saw the video. It's there. It was listed for $269. Comparables, if the house was clean, are like $320. 319, 320. We got it for $203. Got a $66,000 discount in 2 weeks. I'd say that's pretty awesome. Why did the seller agree? Well, they bought the house for $60,000 in 2010. It was a rental forever, and they're done. They just want to take their money and run. We were the first offer. We were the only offer in 2 weeks. I think we went out at $199. We went out at $199. They listed at $269. I think they came down to $225. And because they came down so much, I went up just a little bit, like $199 to $203, and they took it. Think about that. Listed $269, 2 weeks, looks ugly from the street. I offer $199. They counter $225. I'm looking at that going, damn, they came down a lot. Like, what is that, like $35,000? I'm like, well, I've been doing this a while. If you're willing to come down $35,000 with your first counter, there's more room. So I didn't come up much. I broke the 200. I went to 203. I came up $4,000, and they took it. I would call that not a bad deal, right? 203 and a 320 market, got a shake roof, which will be, we're getting bids. It actually might be a little bit more than I expected because that's a 4-car garage. Which actually probably makes the property worth more because there's not a lot of 4-car garages in Fresno. That second roof, though, is no joke. That's monstrous. So it might be a little more than I expected, $18,000. It might be like 26, but still not a bad rental. Yeah. So I think Q4 will be okay. I think Q1 through Q2 next year, pretty good. So I'm excited. I I try not to present this because I don't want people to think badly of me, but I am vibrating with excitement. I see what is coming. I see my competition running away. I see I see people getting dragged closer to the tree of fear because of social media. And I'm like, there goes 2% of my competition. There goes 2% of my competition. There they go again. There they go again. And I'm not opposed to writing lots of offers. I'm not opposed to writing cash offers, owner carry offers. Doesn't take me very long, and I'm excited. I am excited. This is what I've been waiting for. This is why I spent 9 months painstakingly refining most of my properties into 30-year debt. Right? The ones that were variable, I spent 9 months. It's not easy, right? Doing all of that and leases and appraisals and tenant and blah blah blah. Ugh. I'm excited. I am excited. So hopefully that helps, Chris. Thanks for the question. Good morning, John from Texas. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Central Virginia in the house. Thanks for you do have a blast. Yep. When my wife and I transitioned away from business, we fell in love with the weekend again. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Matt, how you doing, buddy? Been doing the work every day, having a hard time getting anything. Me too. I've been doing the work. I think I did the work every day for 15 months between my two deals. Sometimes it's just like that. Again, Q1 to Q2 of this year, hard, impossible. I didn't get anything. I just got something this week. It's going to get better. The people that do the work continually, you're going to get something. It's just it's how the averages work. So keep going. Again, I think it's 12 out of my 22 years. My best deal of the year came between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Thanksgiving and New Year's. Why? I hope this year's the same. Keep doing the work. Why stop? If you stop, you don't go anywhere. So keep going. You got it. Economists make the assumptions that other things are equal to identify cause and effect. Unfortunately, life is never never other things equal. Yeah. I am really happy I chose to get an econ degree. It allows you to consume multiple variables. It allows you to peel back and see how a complex system works. But it also sometimes doesn't allow you to see how real life works. And earlier we talked about the 20% housing crash. And again, logically speaking, the fatal flaw was the assumption that we had to do the same number of transactions, and that's just not how it works, because of course you want to sell the same number of TVs or computers, which case if rates are up, prices have to go down. That's just not how housing works. That's why I like my unique background of advanced economic education plus 20 some odd years of housing. It's very helpful because again, I focus on the consumer. The consumer is 68% of our economy, 63, 65% of homeowners. I wish I could tell you here at 50 I planned for this. No idea. I got an econ degree because I hated accounting. That's why I got an econ degree, right? I was getting a business degree, an undergrad. I had to take accounting. I hated it. It was just so boring. And then I go get an econ degree, so I only have to take 2 years or 2 courses in accounting versus 6, and the rest is history. And oh, by the way, it's just how life works. My first job was accounting. That's funny for me to think about. Right, I'm a sophomore in college. I take my accounting class. I ace it, but I hate it. And then my first job is an accountant. I was a general ledger accountant at Quantum Disk Drives for 2 years, maybe. Oh, hated that job, but paid the bills. Good morning, Prasanna. How are you? Terry, I remember when you did daily financial news from your daughter's bedroom and had to keep Jimbo quiet when Olivia was sleeping. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, she's like, nope, no, you're not doing anything on Fridays. I actually told her maybe I can do it from the park. She's like, nope. I'm like, yes, dear. Hey, Sean and Wendy, how are you? Thanks for all you do so far and all you've done in the future. Looking forward to meeting Olivia in Vegas at the party. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Yep, me too. Yeah, it'd be fun for people to meet my better half. How long do you think the transaction crash will last? Oh, that's an amazing question. I had an aha moment. I don't know if this video is out yet. I think the Lumberjack has it. We did a review of the 52-year spreadsheet. And I believe this is all from memory. I need to get the video from Matt. I think it was 1979. We did something like 4.2 million transactions. And we didn't get back to 4.2 million transactions until 83. So seriously, I mean, I have had this spreadsheet for a year, right? You've all have access to it. It's free. But I did not appreciate how long the transaction crash could last. If you would have asked me, so what is today? Saturday? If you would have asked me Thursday, Sean, I would have probably guessed 2 to 3 years. And that means peak to peak, right? It would take us 3 years to get back. We did 6.9, 3 years to get back to 6.9. That's what I would have guessed. But dude, go back and look at the 52-year spreadsheet. Look at 78 or 79, whatever that peak year was. We don't get back to it until the 90s. We go the entire 80s below 1979. That is wild to think about. So now I do think the economy is more elastic. So I don't think it'll be 12 years, but it could be 5 years easy. 5, 6 years easy. Yeah, that was a moment. That was crazy. I got to get that video from Matt. Actually, you know what? Let me text him right now. All right, Lumberjack. Where is he? Need those videos. See, all this in real time. All right, there we go. Yeah, so I think it's going to be 5 or 6 years to answer your question succinctly. Good morning, Ninja. I like that. Ninja. Yeah, Sonny getting some props. I like it. Housing went up 40%, but only needs to go down 30% to get back to where we were. Mathematically correct. I never met a dog that could speak. Me neither, but it's fun. Yeah, I have fun. Yes, you're right. Thank you very much, Arturo. I think that's how you say that. Thank you. Random person. You guys are very creative with your names. Generosity. Glad you're making some space. Yep. Thank you. With rates in the dollars up, do you see foreign investors still investing in real estate going into treasuries instead? So, one of the beauties of having a career that took you all over the world, you really get to learn different cultures, at least a little bit. And first and foremost, your question is based on absolute facts. The treasury, the 1 and 2 year at 4.5 or wherever it is absolutely going to pull money from housing and stocks and crypto and this and that. However, what I've seen with other cultures is they have an affinity to housing. It is their bank. So I believe while some foreign capital will be pulled to treasuries, I believe most is 51%. So I think most is fair. I think most foreign buyers will continually buy housing and actually probably buy housing more. I think I think the world's in a recession and there's a lot of scared capital and there's a lot of people that will be buying U.S. housing. You got to remember all the craziness of 2020 and 2021 was for the most part absent of foreign buyers. They couldn't come here. It's pretty hard to buy. I mean, you could do it, but most wouldn't. Most wouldn't put hundreds or millions of dollars to work without seeing a property. We didn't really have a dominant foreign buyers in 2020 or 2021. I think that changes in 2023. I think they're back, and they're back in force. Hey, B Delight, how are you? Hey, Sean and Wendy, how are you? Yep, perfect. We aren't here to convince people they need financial freedom. We just share how we got there and principles. Lumberjack in the house. Who wants to see Lumberjack do live streams on Saturdays? Raise your hand. I do. That'd be fun. See him pick up the Saturday. For life. Is there an opportunity right now with rates so high, prices still high, rental rates are artificially high? I think it's going to take some time to adjust. I think there's all the excuses in the world to do nothing. I choose not to believe them. I will only do great deals. I think I shared an example earlier of a great deal. I got a 320 house for $203,000. Why? Because the seller wanted out. The key to this game is finding motivated sellers. What was impossible to find for a long time? A motivated seller. What is going to become increasingly easy and easy and easy? Motivated sellers. So you have a choice. Do the work. Make excuses. It's never easy. Doing what I do, doing what Matt does, we might make it look easy, but we're just like you. I mean, I think it was Chris earlier. I looked at my market every day for 400 days in a row and got nothing. Nope. Keep going. 401, 402. I choose to do the work. Like Michael Jordan, in my opinion, the best basketball player ever. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I choose to wake up and look at my market every day. You just never know. Hey, KS, how are you? This week, 6 3/4. Good for you. You break. Mortgage rate. In your opinion, do you think mortgage rates will go up more than housing prices decrease over the next 12 months? That's an interesting question. So I think 12 months from now, I think rates are down from where they are today. I think they're like, what, 7.4? Ooh, are they down? Maybe not. I don't know. I think a year from now, rates are where they are now or down. I think nationally speaking, housing is, I'm going to still keep saying flat. Maybe it's down 2 or 3% nationally speaking. I just think we're going to do a lot less transactions. My biggest concern today, as far as rates go, is what Mary Daly said yesterday. Mary Daly, I believe she's the Fed chair of San Francisco. I could be wrong, but I think she's from San Francisco. Basically said she wants the Fed to slow down. That's what she basically said. And the market went nuts. The market was up 700 points because the Fed just pivoted. Yay, the Fed pivot. Woohoo, yay. No, you idiots. The Fed did not pivot. The Fed slowed down. The Fed slowed down. That is not what we want. We don't want the Fed to slow down. We want the Fed to rip the damn Band-Aid off. The last thing we want is the Fed to slow down. Get to the peak, get it over with, bang us with whatever you want to hit us with, and get out of the flipping way. Mary Daly just told you we're going to get 75 and 50 and 25 and 25 and 25 and 25 and 25 and 25. I don't want any of that. I don't want that. Bang us with 200 basis points today, get us to a terminal rate of 5% today, and then get out of the flipping way. Mary Daly did not give the market a pivot. Mary Daly said, we're going to go slower and make it more painful. Ouch. Ouch. Just bought another single family home. Congrats, Keith. There's some talk about rates. You trying to buy your second rental, bought your first one 9 years ago. What was that? 2000, what was that? 2013? That was a good time. Hopefully you either paid it off or you refied it recently to get even more cash flow. That'd be good. Oh, Lumberjack is going back and forth with somebody. What you guys aren't seeing in Lumberjack's comment is he has a relationship with a bank. You want to go get better rates than Fannie Mae? Go get a relationship with a small bank. It's not that hard. It takes work and consistency and a net worth and a liquidity and an account but it is possible. Yep. Do the work. You keep kicking us all out of the nest. Do the work. You saw that coming. I think we all really enjoyed the daily news. Thanks for everything. You're very welcome. Right. You work for international buyers. Great. Community banks, credit unions, they don't sell to you guys. They can do whatever the hell they want. There's a bank president over 3 branches. They can lend to whoever they want at whatever rates. So it's a different game. I don't know why we're arguing about silly things. Why do we argue with silly things? Who cares? Contracts can be stated in additional funds. Okay, I don't know what that means. I don't know why we argue about silly things, but whatever. You guys are arguing about rates, whatever. Heard that the Fed is tightening lending because they are requiring them to have much higher reserves. I think what you're referring to, Laura, is you probably heard Jamie Dimon and I think Bank of America, Brian Moynihan. I could be wrong. There was basically 2 of them that came out in the media and basically said our reserve requirements are allowing us to, or not allowing us to lend as much as we could. This is not a new requirement, Laura. This is a requirement coming out of the financial crisis. Banks were required to carry more reserves, and that's a very, very good thing. So this is, in my opinion, unless something has changed that I missed, which is absolutely possible, at least in reference to what Jamie Dimon and Brian were talking about, was a past requirement. It's not new. Whatever. We're still talking about rates. Whatever. Ooh, 20%. Ouch. Oh, wow. I love Prop 13 in California. Do you think the government might implement new programs and tax breaks to stimulate housing market again next year? Yeah. I believe currently the November election will have the Republicans winning one or the other or both the Senate and the House. At which point, probably the only thing they can all agree on is first-time homebuyer program. So yes, I expect something. I expect something in 2023. That is correct. Hey, KS, thanks for the sticker. I appreciate it. I didn't even know that was a thing. Now I do. Mike, are you getting into sub 2 in your market? I am trying to learn sub 2. I believe a I believe the next 2 years will be creative financing. I believe it is very hard for a lot of people to make a deal work at 9% or 8% or 10% or whatever. And I want to be there to help. I want to marry this channel up with the hub, which is a physical location in Fresno, and help a lot of people. And some of those people will be sub 2. Have I done one yet? Nope. Have I tried to do one yet? Nope. Would I like to do one? Maybe. I don't know, honestly, if I'll do sub 2 kind of straight up. I will. If I had my druthers, I would do seller financing and assumptions. I don't have to do more deals. I know it's a luxury, but I don't have to do deals. So I may never do a sub 2 deal, although I think it's intellectually stimulating and I want to learn about them. I may just do assumptions like assume VA loans and FHA loans and do some seller financing. Will I do a sub 2 deal? Maybe, if we can create a win-win situation for someone. Yeah, maybe. But I haven't done one yet. Never done one yet. Awesome. Yeah, you should be seeing. I think, oof, changes. Oh, just wait. It's coming. You've seen like we might be in the second inning of the change. Some markets might be in the third or fourth, but yeah, it's going to be fun. Okay. What do you think of sellers with a menu of seller finance market rates, 5.97.9 lower rates have points? I don't know what that means. Let me try that again. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, so it's all negotiable. I mean, when you're doing a seller finance deal, it's their house. They can make the rules for sure. But at the end of the day, their price, my terms, their terms, my price. It's really that simple. And if they don't want to play ball, just move on to the next one. You think the dollar will stay strong in a worldwide crisis? My answer to that is compared to what? Compared to the yen? Yep. Compared to the euro? Yep. Compared to the yuan or the renminbi or whatever it is? Yep. Peso? Yep. Australian dollar? Yep. Compared to what? Making the mistake of comparing to the 70s versus the 40s. Okay. I've heard that critique. You could be right. I'm wrong all the time. Ultimate bargains, Jeffrey, 8%. Yeah, we might be there. We might touch 8% this year. That's crazy to think about. Yes, I think you're right. 52-year spreadsheet, Sonny. It's really easy. Go to my Teachable course. I think there's a link below on any of my videos. It's the free course. You have to get it from Teachable. That's the only place I could put it. Go to Teachable, free course. It's in the bonus section. Really easy and accessible. Can you talk more about building relationships with your bank? You know what? We'll do that with Matt next week. Matt, let's do that next week. Oh, they did increase. According to Lars, they increased capital requirements for large banks on October 1st. Okay, I stand corrected. I wonder why that was. I don't think they did a review. I don't know. I'll have to go look that up. Lars, October 1st, I'll go look it up. What happens to depreciation when you turn your property home? No, you don't get to depreciate your home When you're owner occupant, you will start depreciation the day it becomes a rental. I am not your CPA, nor am I my own CPA. So go talk to one to make sure. But it is my understanding you are not depreciating a house as an owner occupant. Hence, it will start day one as a rental, is what I think happens. But talk to a CPA. I'm not a CPA. That's just my logical thinking. All right, we'll do one more question because I need to get to my group, my team. Oh, looks like we got to the bottom. Any other questions? Oh. All right, folks, take care of yourself. How you doing? 109 people watching, 49 thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up, some love, share the channel. Thank you for being a part of my last Saturday live stream. This has meant the world to me. Thank you for the stickers and the super chats. Awesome of you. I appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. We're not going anywhere. We're just going to take a couple days off each week. Thanks. Bye-bye.